Okay, so welcome again to the last session for this week. Today we have Circle Cardiovascular Imaging with us. We're very pleased to have Hui Sze Kwong, who is the Advanced Clinical Applications Lead at Circle Cardiovascular Imaging. And Anne, we're so happy to have you here. You can go ahead.
Thank you. So hi everyone. So I will present a bit our company, and then I will make a demo training about the software. Of course, you can just interrupt myself whenever you want for any question. It could be as well, of course, an interactive session. And in the future, you can always come back to me in order to go over additional training or question. So I will just share my screen quickly for just to talk about a bit of the company. Okay, so this is a Canadian company. Okay, based on AI solution mainly. We have different package of solution. So today we will focus on the cardiac MRI package, but we have as well a CT package, interventional planning package with the TAVI and TMVR, and we have as well an electrophysiology package for VT and AF ablation. So I'm not gonna enter in the details, but this is just for you to know that we have like a full cardiac solution. So we are everywhere, let's say, in the world. We have big institution collaboration center. We are working with them in order to improve the software, and we have a global support base. So the goal is to have, of course, the support in the different languages and always trying to support as much as we can. And we are based here in more than 80 countries. So probably you are based in one of these countries. Okay.
Sorry, Anne, do you want to make it a slideshow in case you have animations? Oh, there we go.
No, there is no animation. I will directly show the software.
Okay, good.
Okay. So here you can see the software. So that's the patient list frame. So when you will open the software, and you will see that you will have the instruction later next week, but you will just log into the software. You will be able to import the images when you just click on import image here, and you can directly go in your documents and find the clinical cases you have and import them. Of course, the cases are anonymized here, and you will be able to have a preview of them. So you see that you can see all the different series of images on the top here, and you can just click on all of them in order to visualize. So this is a pre-visualization even before opening it. Okay, it's just in case you want to have a quick look, it's possible. You can as well activate the Cine preview if needed. Okay, everything in green in the software will be activated, so it's quite useful to see if it's activated or not. You have a filter per name or per date as well here. If you want to look at the name of the sequence and the number of images per series, you have here the table of series and the table of images inside the series. So in order to obtain that, you just click on extended view here. Okay. So it's mainly what you will use as tools in the here in the patient list frame. Just to let you know, of course, you will have the general version on your own computer, but inside the hospital, the software can always be connected to the MRI, to the PACS, to the wrist system, to the printer, whatever, CD-grammer, everything linked to the DICOM connection can be connected to Circle without any problem. This is how people in the clinical ways are working in the hospital. So if you want to open a patient, you just double click on it. When you open the patient, you will arrive in the post-treatment frame. You can jump between the post-treatment frame and the patient list with this big yellow cross. Okay, if just for example, you want to look at another patient, you can always look at it even if you have already one patient open. So you can just switch between both frames. Here on the left side, you will see all the different functionalities of the cardiac MRI package. Okay. So patient data, this is just to let you know, but usually in the clinical use, you are interesting to go over the index value for the function. So the weight and the height are very important, but of course my case is anonymized, but in case that you want to add any information, you can do it here. Series overview, just to have a look at all the different series of images inside the patient. This is possible, and you can make a zoom a bit here with the cursor on the right side in order to enlarge a bit and have a look at anything. You see that if I leave my mouse on the series of images, I can see already the cine activated. And the viewer, so it's very, I mean, let's say this is the first step, so you will be able to look at any images. So yeah, there is an auto-loading of the sequences. The software will select for you primary way the cine images, okay? But you see that on the right side, you have all different series of images, and you can drag whatever you want. So if you want to drag the LG sequence, CIR sequence, anything you want, the flow, mapping, whatever you want to drag, you can drag. It is just a click and drag, and you can visualize whatever you want. So here I have my cine, so 4-chamber view, 3-chamber view, 2-chamber view, and my short axis. If I want, I can run the cine with the space bar, or I have the play stop button here. I can as well go over the different slice with the scroll of my mouse. I can choose to zoom a bit with this big cross. I can see it when I'm going on the right side of the image. I can as well change the contrast of the scene with, if I push the scroll of my mouse and I drag it. Something important as well, this is a cross reference here. So when you leave the mouse on the icon, you can have the definition of the tool, and you can see where you are according to each plane. So very, very useful when you want to compare. You have some different measurements tools. You have like a single view if you want to just have a big frame. And something important as well is a multi-view in order to look, for example, at all the different short axis stack slices. So this is a common visualization. And then if you want to go in the function now, okay, you can go in the function. You may drag, if it's not done already, you can drag the short axis stack. Okay, you see that the software can recognize easily which sequence are the best, okay, with the small green check. So I drag my short axis. You see that automatically the software put a long axis as a reference. If you want to put another reference, you can always drag another reference. But if you want to add different long axis reference, you can click on plus. You can have 3 different long axes, which could be sometimes useful to check if you need to include the slice or not. On the top, you see the different phases. On the left side, the different slices. And you can click directly in the table or use the cross of your keyboard to go up and down, left and right. Up and down, you change the slice. Left and right, you change the phase. You can click as well on the small V if you just want to see the small images, but the table is quite common use because you will see easily where you will have your contours. So now I want to run the AI tools. So I will detect with the artificial intelligence LV and RV contours, and the software will define for me the end-diastolic and end-systolic phase. Of course, I will check everything, but my advice is you can leave the software doing the job and then you check, okay? You will see that you will try on your cases, but let's say in 95% of the patients, the selection of end-diastolic and end-systolic phase are correct, let's say. So you will just need to have a look always and check if the selection is good, if the contour is good as well. So I can check like that, and I could say, for example, phase number 10, this is the end systolic of my RV, for example. So I could do a right mouse click on phase number 10, and I can see the 4 different choices here. So I could say systolic RV, okay? And now I could ask the software with the AI tools to draw the contour for me on phase number 10. So first tool, it was LV, RV, and diastolic and systolic phase. Here, this is LV on the current phase, and here's the RV on the current phase. So this is exactly what I want. I want my contour done on this phase. Doesn't matter if I have seen my contours on phase number 11 for the RV. The most important is where are the small s and small d. And the software will update the results for me automatically. Okay, you can see the LV results here. You could have the index value if it's not an anonymized case, and the RV here. If, for example, the contours are not good enough, you can fix them. So you can click on it and you can just use a simple mouse to just fix the contour, like that, for example. If I push the right mouse click on it, I will smooth. Otherwise, you have a box of tools. If I'm just going a bit up in this in the image window, I can see the click, the drag, the ball. The last one is the kind of threshold. I click in the blood, go up and down, left and right, and then like that. Or so I can use different tools. Just one thing important, the last one, the threshold, this is a tool only for endo control. So endo, LV, and RV, but not the AP. Let's imagine I forgot I activated, and now I want to fix my AP. It will be a disaster. I can always do a right mouse click undo or Control Z in order to go back to the step before. Very, very useful at the beginning when we are trying different tools and we are doing a bit something messy. So you can just click on the contour in order to jump between each contour and fix them. Okay. As soon as you are making like any change in your contour, of course, the results will be updated. Okay. If you want to delete a contour or create another one, you just have to click on the icon, and after that, you just draw it. Okay. And if you need to delete a contour, you just click on it, and you click on delete on your keyboard. Quite intuitive. Something really useful as well, you can display the polar map in order to go over the wall thickening and wall motion. Or if I can switch over wall thickness, diastole, and systole, you will have the value per segment. This is the mean of the wall thickness. So this is also quite useful, and it's done automatically by the software. Okay. So you can, of course, send to the report. We have a clinical report, which is quite nice, and which could be also sent back to the parks, etc. So then we have, if you have any question, just please feel free to ask. I can answer without any problem. So here you can drag for the biplanar function, the 2-chamber and the 4-chamber view, okay, and run the AI tools. So the goal here is to have the atria function. So the software will detect the LV, as you can see, but it will detect as well the left and right atrium. And if I go in the third tab, atria function, I will be able to see my volume, area, and function of both of my atrium. So I can see the biplanar left atrium results, 2-chamber view left atrium result, and then 4-chamber view left and right atrium. So I can see everything here. Of course, I can check my contour, and if I need to fix anything, this is exactly the same everywhere in the software. I just need to click on it and then use the different tools in order to fix them.
Annie, Alex has a question.
Ah, yeah, please tell me. I'm not hearing the question. You put it on the chat or? see it as well.
Maybe he has issues with his mic. Let's just give him some time to try to fix his mic. Alex, can you try muting yourself again and see if that works, or?
Or maybe type it if you cannot speak.
Oh, he says, do we need
no, I
hematocrit?
said,
Yeah.
Do we need the hematocrit in order to? Hematocrit is needed for T1 mapping in order to go over the ECV. That's it. That segmentation. No. The hematocrit is only needed if you want to go over the ECV, so the extra volumetric, the extra cardiac volume. So that's only when you go over T1 pre-contrast and post-contrast. Okay, I will show you that. So we could use the T1 map, and with the T1 map, we can make a superposition between pre and post, and we can calculate the ECV. And for the ECV, you need to have the hematocrit. But this is just for T1 mapping. If you go over function, I don't know, flow, perfusion, T2 map, or whatever, you don't need the hematocrit. I can show you right now the mapping if you want. Does the answer to your question, Alex? In the chat anymore. Okay. So mapping. Thanks to Alex. You want to see mapping, so we will go over mapping. So T1 mapping, you have to weigh. Usually we generate the maps directly with the MRI. So particularly if you saw that Siemens tools, you will have the map directly done with the acquisition. So you see that you have the maps, you can easily recognize the raw data, the gray images, and the pixels images are the maps. So when you want to go over the ECV, you will need to have pre and post contrast images. You need to have exactly the same slice location and the same field of view between pre and post contrast, because for the ECV, you need to have the perfect superposition of your myocardium. So for that, you need to have some parameters of acquisition between pre and post contrast. So here I'm dragging the pre-contrast, and I can go a bit further, and I can see my post-contrast now. You were talking about the hematocrit, Alex, so you can go in the T1 option. By default, it's 40% the hematocrit, but of course, if you know the real value, it will be always better to put the real value because the ECV is really dependent on the hematocrit. So unfortunately, if you don't have the real value, and if, for example, it's 45, the ECV value could be a bit, let's say, not really correct. So this is where you can put the hematocrit. So I was in map analysis directly because I want to use the maps. Okay, I drag my pre and post contrast map. Now I can run the AI. The AI will draw for me the contours. My God, here it is the disasters. It doesn't matter. I can always fix a bit my contour properly and quickly. Okay. And I can as well put the blood pool. I need the blood pool in order to go over the ECV. So I just draw a small region of interest in my blood pool. Okay. And then I will be able to have my ECV. So if I want to run my ECV, I can create the DICOM ECV map. First, I change the hematocrit, and then I can create here my ECV. Of course, always try to make your contours better than me. Don't hesitate to change the contrast. So here you will see that it's not really perfect, but I can arrange that. Okay. And I will have the global myocardium results, T1 and pre-contrast. If I have only one slice, it will be the same between the global results across slices and then the regional results. But let's imagine you have 3 slices. You could have the mean across the 3 slices and then the value per slice. Global myocardium, blood pool. If you want to add any region of interest, you can make you can use this ROI one. And if I'm doing a right mouse click, I can use 4 different ROI in the myocardium. Then if I have 3 slices, I could have the value per segment with the boulies. So here I have only 1 slice, so my boulies cannot be completed. But the advantage of my, of course, boulies is having the full boulies completely, the value per segment. And for that, of course, you need to have 3 slices at least. Okay. So if you want mapping, of course, you could go over only pre-contrast, okay? But if you want to go over ECV, you need to do the post-contrast as well. Any question maybe regarding that or regarding anything else? Checking in the meantime if there is no question in the chat.
I don't see any questions.
No, me neither. So if you want to add some colors, I know that people love colors, you can put some LUT. That is the ECV register, but on Siemens, you can directly use the diagram LUT, that's the colors coming directly from the MRI. You can do that for pre and post. Just use diagram LUT, that's possible if you want to have some colors. Up to you. So just keep in mind, if I want to use the map directly of the MRI, I go into one map, but I go directly in map analysis, okay? And I drag my map, I run the AI, I change the hematocrit if I have. I don't forget to put my blood pool. This is a reference that I need. Put it on each slice and pre and post contrast, and then you run the ECV. This is the workflow you have to do. Just if you have 3 slices, don't forget to put the blood pool on each slice. This is important one. If you forgot, in any case, when you will try to run the ECV, you will have a pop-up error window telling you that it's missing some blood pool on some of the slices. All right, that was for T1. I can show you as well the flow in 2D very quickly. So the software will make an auto-loading of the sequence. So you see that the software separates automatically phase and magnitude image and run automatically the AI tools. But if there is any mistake, you can always push another sequence and run the AI. You have AI for aorta and pulmonary artery. Software always select the last sequence done during the acquisition. Because the thing is, sometimes you could have a lysing, for example, and in case or things they are lysing, they will do again the acquisition, and the good one will be the last one done by the acquisition. So as soon as you can see your contour done everywhere, each phase, you can fix the contour, of course, but you will see the curve and the results on the right side. Okay, you could see the forward, backward, regurgitation fraction, pressure gradient, etc. If you need to invert the curve, you have an invert result here. And then you have a background correction for the static tissue correction if you want to apply, and there is an anti-aliasing just in case, unfortunately, the patient already left the MRI and there is a aliasing and you need to correct it, so you can just use the anti-aliasing, even if it's always better to do the acquisition again. So you can do the aorta. We are in the systemic flow. We could go in the pulmonary flow. I will drag something else, even if it's not the pulmonary artery, but this is just to show you. So I could use either the AI if it's aorta or pulmonary artery, but for example, here it's not, so I can just use ROI number 1, I put the level I want, and I use the propagation tool here. So just if it's aorta and pulmonary artery, you use the AI tools, and if it's any other vessel, you can just use the forward contours. In any case, if you are not able to see the result on the curve, that means you forgot to propagate. So let's imagine that was my pulmonary flow. I go in comparison, and the software will compare aorta with RI1, and I will have my QPQS. This is just to show you, but just to show you how it could be quick and automatic to have the QPQS. So that's the flow in 2D. This is quite intuitive. You shouldn't have a lot of issue on that, and we don't require 2D flow on each patient as well. Okay. So we have tools for T2 map, T2 star map. So T2 map, this is also the same. You can use directly the T2 map of the MRI. We use the AI tools in order to draw the contours, and you can have the results in the bulleyes. T2 star, you need to have the specific sequence of T2 star. This is specifically for the iron overload, and you will have the calculation of the T2 star and the iron overload. So quite useful as well. And well, I think I mean, the goal was to focus on, let's say, basic post-treatment. So just to let you know that we have also strain assessment. As you can see, we have 4D flow assessment, but about that we will speak a bit later in a few weeks, I think. But I may show you strain quickly because it's very quite common use now in the clinical routine. So there is no specific sequence for the strain, okay? We can directly use the cine images, so there is no additional sequence on the level of the MRI. You can drag different long axis, minimum one long axis, one short axis in order to go over the 3D. But if you want to push only long axis or short axis, you can do it. And we always advise to have more than one long axis. So if you have 2-chamber view, 4-chamber view, 3-chamber view, it's even better. And same phase contour. So usually we track on the end-diastolic, so the last phase here. And we can run the algorithm. So of course you check your contours. Okay, one phase is enough. If you did function short axis, function biplanar, you will have already all your contours done. But you can always ask the AI. You see on the top, you have the AI tools. If you did nothing, you can use directly the AI here. And one thing important on the acquisition side, in order to go over this 3D, so in order to go over like the use of one long axis, one short axis minimum, you will need to have the same number of phases between long axis and short axis. This is mandatory. If you don't have it, you could have only 2D results. So actually, most of people are trying to focus on the global longitudinal strain because of echo. So you see that you could see that circumferential strain and radial strain on short axis and longitudinal and radial on long axis. You could also as well put some visualization here, for example. You could choose Pandaris points, mesh, whatever you prefer. I can click in the short axis stack in order to look at the long axis visualization as well. I could have the curves, global myocardium. We could select subendose BPX theta. We can look at radial longitudinal, but if I go in the short axis, I could switch between circumferential, radial, and torsion. We are actually on 2D, okay? And I can also look at the bulleyes in 2D. And if I want to go now in 3D, I could have the 3 different strain using the combination of all different series of images. And I could have a 4D visualization here. If I want to see the 4D volume here, I can drag behind that the scene if I want. And I can look at each strain. All of this video image can be saved as DICOM in order to go back to the packs, or you can just save that on your computer with the right mouse click, and you can export image, video directly on your computer. So that's the strength. That's a big advantage now because there is no need of acquisition. You see, it's very straightforward. Usually, most of people they did already the function. So you see that let's say almost everything is already done for strain. You just need to run the algorithm, and you will have everything done properly. So we have also some tools for the angio, for stress, and for D-flow, but we need for 44 sequence. We have some tools as well for late gadolinium enhancement. For the quantification, for visualization, you can simply use a viewer and you can drag all the different LG sequence, short axis, long axis, etc. You can just click and drag, okay? And you can look at the sphere as well. But for quantification, there is a specific tool for that, and you could choose different threshold, like standard deviation, Fourier half maximum. I'm not gonna enter in the details, let's say, because it's more advanced tool, but just to let you know, these tools are existing. So if you want to see any tools like that with me, I will be happy to plan something with some of you or personal session if you're interested in that. Do you have any question, maybe? Something you would like to know, something you would like to see, or something that, sorry.
Yeah, I have a question though, while they're waiting and thinking. Is there like I think I may have missed it, but if when it's automatically done, like when you do some of this drag and drop and automatically does the segmentation, how do you edit the segments if you have some information, like if you find that they're not maybe accurate or like.
So if you want to fix the contour done already, you have different tools for that. So you just activate any contour by clicking on it, and then you have a boxer tool to just fix them as you want. Could be just a simple mouse or just like a click or whatever you prefer as tools in order to fix. If you have an image where there is no contour and you want to create a new one, you can directly click on the same icon. So you see that endo is red, AP is green for the LV, and the yellow is the RV endo. So I could just simply draw a new one like that with a click or with a simple mouse. This is up to you. I mean, or you delete, or you create another one, or you fix the one already done.
Right. And I see that when you do that, it kind of makes all of them X or red or canceled on the right-hand screen. Is that because once you apply the contour, then it will give you that green check mark again?
So as soon as you change the contour, so here on the short axis, you will have an updated report automatically. But I mean, this is here the short axis. If I want to change my long axis, I can always be in the biplanar module in order to look at the atrium, and I will work on the long axis images.
Okay.
And yes, when you have contours on your cell, you see that when I drew the 2D flow, I can now see my contours on the image as well.
Yeah. And then so when you apply it now, it will apply all of the other contours, like because this is a missing contour. So when you do one, do you have to do this for all of them, for the blue, the pink, and the yellow?
No, I mean, this is just, I mean, if you need to include or not the slice, it depends. So you see that I am on the basal slice here.
Yeah.
And for example, I see where I am. The longest reference could be very useful because I see that I am with this yellow line. I am on this slice, and I see that I can move along the different phases, but I can see that I'm a bit on the valve, a bit out of the valve, so it's hard to say. So I can help myself with the long axis in order to know if I need to include a small part in a big part or whatever. At least if I have a contour, the contour will be used, I mean, for the results. So this is my choice to put a contour, a small, I mean, whatever I will include in my contour, it will be considered for the results. Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
So let's say it's my choice. Sometimes the AI will forget some contour. It will not be perfect, of course. So I always check my endosystolic and systolic phase, and I fix my contours. If some slices are missing, I need to add other contours. I can do it. If it's too much and I need to delete contours, I can do it as well.
Right. No, okay, this is good. This is fantastic. Does I guess the trial license they get and the student license you get and will include these features at least for them to try out some of this stuff.
Yeah, I saw the question from Alex. So yes, in the trial license, we will put everything. So everything that I spoke about, strain, which is one option, strain for different quantitative perfusion, that's 3 options. And we will include that. We will include strain and for different at least. And the basic package, that's the rest of the models. For the trial period, you will have everything. And then, I mean, when the hospital or doctor is deciding to purchase something, he can decide whatever he wants to. But for the trial period, yes, we will include everything, and you will have the possibility to try and test everything you want.
Right.
That's why I propose you as well, if you need any additional training and support, you can always come back to me. I'm not gonna show everything in detail. This is not the goal of today.
Yeah.
But I mean, try to focus on basic things, and if you want some advanced tools, I can always help you.
That's great. Thank you. Any other questions?
I hope there is not only Alex following what I said.
No, I know.
Okay, well, if there is no other question, in any case, I'm sure that the question will come when you will start to practice next week or the week after, when you will install the software, load the cases and try it. Don't hesitate, really. If you have any issue when you will try to install it, when you will try to import the cases, or for the practice of the software, just come back to me. I will help you.
Okay, that's fantastic. So next week they'll start to do the installation, and if they run into any issues, we will be able to get those questions or concerns to you. Alex is typing again, so we'll just wait for him. And I guess like you're right, when they start to use it, it's probably when they'll start, because I think a lot of them are still not familiar with Circle, or a lot of them they don't even have access to the software. So I think a lot of the questions will come when they actually start using it.
Yes, always like that.
I concur with Daniel. It's come a long way. I used Circle. I think I mentioned this to you. I used Circle when I was in grad school, and
things change a bit.
Different. 2009 to now is totally different. So it's
the goal is we have more and more automatic tools, and you can spend time on other advanced tools and push a bit more the analysis.
Yeah, it will be fun. It will be interesting to see how well these tools handle some of the image quality that.
Absolutely. I mean,
yeah.
I show you a real case. Okay, it's not like a beautiful case where it's perfect. Showing pathological cases, and the hospital are always trying their own data after that, and always giving feedback. Regarding pathology, quality of images could be a bit different, but the contours quality, to be honest, are very, very good. So I mean, people can always tell me their thoughts. I'm happy to hear the feedback.
Yeah, well,
this is how we improve the software as well.
Exactly, yeah. So we're acquiring some cases, at least in Lagos, so we'll be able to see how well this handles the type of cases that we'll be getting from, at least from there.
Yeah, fantastic.
So thank you so much,
a lot
Annie.
for the
We'll be seeing you
organization.
back again when we do For the Flow later
Exactly.
on at the end of the month. I'm
Yeah.
sure, like you said, you'll be filing some questions, mostly maybe from Marina. If they have any questions, we'll be able to file it back to you. And
Sure.
again, thank you so much. If you could send the recording to us, that will be very much
Yeah,
appreciated.
it will take a bit of time, but I will show that this evening, if not on Monday, for sure. And people will be able to have the access and look at it again and again without any problem. Okay.
Thank you so much, Annie. Have a great
Thank
weekend.
you. You
Thank
too.
you all for
Thank you,
attending.
everybody.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.